Hey guys, Michael here again from GuitarGate.com, and we're at the gig the other day, and the band decides to try Midnight Rider. Never tried Midnight Rider before. We make it through, but it's clear we gotta actually learn the song, right? So I'm sitting here today, because I know we're probably going to try it again this weekend, to listen to Midnight Rider and learn it. And it occurs to me, and I've never heard anybody else say this or mention it, I'm sure it's out there, but I haven't found it, that there are two versions of Midnight Rider. There's the one that is on the recorded record that they did live with Dwayne and Dickie forever, and that still did a lot with when Derek Trucks and Warren Haynes were in the band, and that's the predominantly major version. And then there is a minor version which Greg Allman, who just recently passed away, did with his band for the last 10 years or so of his life, maybe 15 years. He pretty much, almost exclusively, from all the things I could find, did this more minor, more haunting version. And so I stopped everything and figured, all right, I've been looking for some type of tribute to Greg Allman, and I haven't figured out what I was going to do, and I figured this is it, because this is the perfect kind of encapsulation of that just great southern rock, southern jam band type thing that the Allman Brothers were, that Greg Allman kind of brought that to the forefront, and that is really mixing those major and minor sounds, not just within a song, but how an actual song, when you jam on it for a while, evolves over time, and you can have kind of different versions. So, enough talking. I'm going to jump in right now and kind of show you what I've found. Now, I've taken a couple listens through, but I have not figured out all the parts. So we're going to kind of do it together. You can kind of see it and see me do it, hear it happen, and I think that you'll really catch on to how cool it is that there's just this major and minor back and forth in this song, which really just makes it what it is. So check it out. Let's start with the album version. Now, like I said, I've already listened to this once or twice through, so I have a basic feel for what the song is. Now, that intro, it's just D. It's just a D power chord. It's just D and A. You're not hearing an F sharp in there for major or an F for minor. You're just hearing this, and it has that kind of that bop, and we all kind of know that part. You're literally just going up the power chord, hit it again on the root, and then play the whole chord. Or some variation of that. And after 4 times, it does this little lick. Right? It's something like that. Yeah. Now all that is you're walking down in D. So we know we're in the key of D-ish, right? We're in the realm of D. D is the focus. And we have a D, a C, a B, an A, and a G. So right here, you're thinking probably D mixolydian, right? You're thinking this is going to be D7 is your focus, right? So you're going to have a major chord with a flat 7. And that's your main riff right there. And again, that's a D power chord. And then you're hammering on from the 5th to the flat 7th on the 5th string, right? And then you're letting the power chord ring out. Again, I'm not hearing a third in there. Let's keep going. You hear the keyboards on top too. So you have the acoustic guitar and you have the keyboards playing the same thing in a higher octave. He's just an amazing singer and killer harmonies. So this is where the harmony gets solidified, right? We haven't played a third. The third's what makes something major or minor. Well, he does it when he's singing. It's the so that is D major. That is D going up to an E, going up to an F sharp, which makes this major. So we are firmly established in D major or with the flat 7. So it's D mixo, whatever you want to call it, right? But that melody is D major. And he's singing it, so it's some variation of that. It's not a specific guitar lick, but it's going from the root, and all I'm doing there is a little more piece of D major pentatonic, something like that. And going up to the major third, you can hit the 9, you know, the E, and back down. And I'm bound to keep on riding. I've got one more. And you hear those upper harmonies. You know, again, this is just straight D major. Alright, so there's a lot in here that we have to talk about. First off, let's get the harmony, and then we'll come back to the melody. So what you're hearing in there, okay, is you're hearing, after that, you're hearing a B flat triad, but with the G in the bass, and then to a C major triad with the C in the bass, so just C major, and then it is back to your D power chord. But this time through, you hear Dwayne come in on the slide, and he's going to solidify with that F sharp that we are in D major. Check this out. Let me go back a little bit. So if you have just one guitar, right, you're probably just going to do G minor 7, because that's what B flat over G is, to a C, to the. If you have a second guitar, it makes sense to, again, you can hit those triads, but if you have the slide, or you want to try to play a higher part, see if you can get Dwayne's part. Now all Dwayne is doing is he's got a slide, and he's going from B flat to C to D on the triads, but he's really accentuating the notes on the second string, right? The major third of each chord. So you're going to hear this. And that's really going to resolve, right? It's that. And what's cool about this is that this is kind of like a minor-ish progression. You would think that B flat to C would resolve to D minor, right? And of course, there kind of is a D minor thing in the melody, which we're going to get to in a second. But that is what Dwayne is doing. See if you can hear it. Now, so you have a B flat major chord, right? Which firmly tells us that we are, we've left D major, right? Because this, right, that F and that D in B flat, that makes us think D minor, right? And then the C really feels like a flat 7, like we're in D minor, but then when it goes to D, it resolves to D major. So what's really happening here is for the first part of the verse, right, where you've got the all that, that's D major. But then when it goes to this chorus part, if you want to call it that makes minor there for a second. So what this really is major, and then it's D major, and then D minor for the chorus, and then back to D major. And this is reflected in his vocals, right? And here's the magic. Right? That is D minor. We came from, right? And it goes to, instead of, it's C, D, and an F, right? That's the bluesiness that you hear him sing. I mean, that is D minor. And then, as it comes back, so that's over the G minor 7, the B flat triad. So that D is that major third and B flat, so you're hammering on that chord tone. Then when it goes to C, you'll hear his vocal switch to hit that E, so he's getting back on that chord tone. And then it goes down to finish up in that D. Something like that. Just listen to it. Yeah, so, I don't have it exactly, but what I'm hearing is, the whole, the first part, right? The D major. And then when it goes to the, then it's D minor for the chorus, for those two chords. And the vocals are hammering those chord tones, right? D, the root of the song, the resolution point, is the major third and B flat. Right? So that works. It's the 5th G, if you look at it, a G minor 7. And then, when it goes to the E, right? The second time he says catch, for the Midnight Rider, the chords have switched to C. He's hitting that E, which is the chord tone of C. That. And then it's back to D. And that is the magic of Greg Allman, the Allman Brothers. This whole sound that they have created is that back and forth between major and minor, and you hear it in the vocals. So it goes on to this bridge part, solo section, whatever you want to call it. Going into it, right, you get this. Same thing, right? That same walk down from the beginning, and then there's the lead section, and you hear it. Now, that's Dickie Betts playing guitar. At least I think it is right there, but it sounds like him. And this is just a D vamp. Same thing, if you have two guitars, one be doing this, one be doing kind of like a, kind of a droney thing. And then this is textbook, just textbook major pentatonic stuff in D. So this would be pattern 3 if you're thinking in, caged shapes, right? Right, here's your D major chord. Root, you're bending up on your 9 to your flat 3, and then with your pinky you're getting your root and your 5th again. So I mean, classic stuff, right? Alright, so again, a lot happening here. You got all the guitars and keys and everything. So the main change is you're now going from C, a C major triad, to a B flat major triad. So it's but that's not exactly accurate. It is C, and then it goes to a B flat triad. But the bass, if you listen to it, walks a little bit, and it tells us something a little different. It tells us that we're in C, but then it's G minor 7 being the root again. So B flat over G, and it's got a little walk. So you have basically saying C major, right? And then that's saying G minor. You don't have to play that on guitar. If you have a bunch of parts, you can try to match that. But it's so that's the harmony, right? It's going C major and then G minor 7. Again, the bass is walking. So it probably makes sense to not play G minor 7 because you're going to get all in your bass's zone, right? So I recommend sticking to just the, some higher range part, something where you're not hammering that G because it just might get too muddy. Get with your band, try it out, you'll see what I'm saying. Now for the upper parts. So, listen, there's 2 guitars here, and there's tons of YouTube videos on the note-for-note stuff that they're doing with the harmony. The main takeaway here is this, that you're in C, going to B flat, and that main riff you have there, and what that is, so over C, now the chord changes to B flat. So you're just working. You're working those chord changes of B flat, right? So C, walking up that C major scale, ending on G, so that's a chord tone of C, and then when it goes to B flat, staying in the key of C, so you have that, just walking down the scale, but you're ending on that D, which is that major third of B flat. So that's your main takeaway. You can harmonize that however you want. If you're doing a slide part, you can have one, same basic thing, doing that, right? You have one person laying the chords. You have to figure out how many instruments you have in your band. But it makes sense to have one person, at the very least, getting the harmony down. The second one, trying to do that, right? If you have another piece, you can add another harmony. If you have even another guitar player, you can try to add some of this Dwayne stuff on top. But so that walk down, what is that walk down? So if you follow the bass up, right, when it goes, so B flat, and it walks down from G, right? So again, you're thinking it's in D minor sort of, right? So it's G, F, E, C, so going that flat 7 to D. And that's kind of what you're thinking through here. Whether you're doing a high part, right, where it's the, you know, whatever you're doing with your band, it doesn't really matter as far as who's doing what or where, but that's the walk down. If you have more pieces, add a mid, low, high. You know, if you have less pieces, just try to get that as best you can, but make sure the bass gets that walk, right? And then that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much it, the rest of the song. Right? And that's how it fades out. All right. So that's the major version. The minor version, all right, is something you saw Greg Allman do a lot as he got a little older and with his band. Now, I was fortunate enough to be able to spend some time with Scott Sherrard, who was Greg Allman's guitar player and musical director for the Greg Allman Band for I don't know how many years, but I think since like 2006 or so. And he's actually on this. So this is Greg Allman Live, Midnight Rider, back to Macon, Georgia. And you'll hear that it is different right from the beginning. Check this out. So that intro, that is not the... It's not there, right? That is a D minor thing. Right off the bat, you're like, what is this? It's the minor version of Midnight Rider. Check it. So it's... Yeah, it goes to a B flat, I think. And then it does like a little D minor riff. Check it. So that's B flat. Okay. I mean, solidifying D minor, right? Another little D minor lick, you know. Something. I'm sure he does it different every time, but it's D minor. We are in the land of D minor right now. Like, it is clear. And then what's he do? He comes in with the same melody line to make it major. I mean, it is the same melody line. So it is... The intro is D minor, all the licks are D minor, the harmony being held behind him is D minor, and the dude sings it major. Why? Because it's fantastic. On a little more deeper level, just know that the higher third always wins in the mix. I know that's like kind of like a bold statement, it might confuse you, but if you have a band playing D minor, right? As long as the singer, whoever's doing the melody, right, the loudest person in the mix comes in with a major third, that major third, higher than the minor third, clearly, it's going to win. The audience's ear, the mix, the bleed of the mix through the sound is going to hear the major third. The higher note always wins. Anyway, onward. And I'm bound to keep on riding. And it's got that swampier vibe too, right? It's not as crisp and up-tempo and clean. It's got that, you know, the rhythm, especially with the congas and everything in the background, kind of captures this more minor feel. Got one more silver dollar. So what'd you hear there? You did not hear what it does in the regular Allman Brothers recorded version, where it it goes from G minor 7, so the B flat triad over G to C. It doesn't do that. It goes. It goes to the B flat triad, right? It hangs on the chord that solidifies, with the F and the D in there, that solidifies D minor. And it doesn't create that extra resolution to C major, not until he does it at the very, very end. He does it one time I've picked up on. Check it out. So listen to it again. Major again, right? Same harmony. Over D minor.
The road goes on forever. I got one more silver dollar, but I'm not gonna
B flat.
Not gonna let 'em catch
Take it. All those licks, I mean, he is just making you take Midnight Rider in D minor. He's just, all he's giving you is that one melody, right? To kind of, to have it be what it is. And besides that, he's like, no, this is a minor tune. Yeah, throws in that hit there. I've listened to a couple live versions that does that. Right. Oh, sorry, it's on D. It's just to let you know you're on to the first solo section here. Much jazzier, much more loose-ended, right, for the keys here. Same chorus so far, right? So, right, that C. And again, the bass is walking. So still, if you listen to this, you'll hear the bass moving. And if you watch Greg play, you'll see he's not playing any of the roots. He's just playing the C major triad and the B flat major triad. And then Scott, who's the bitching guitar player, is doing the slide parts. And again, he is kind of favoring the thirds. But then when he comes out of here, he's going to, make it less major. And he's going to, really sell the whole minor thing on the walk down. Listen. Did you hear that switch? Listen to it again. It's like we're in that major lane, like the same thing you heard Dwayne do. And then all of a sudden, when it deteriorates back to the verse, if you can call it that, it's, he comes in with that, something on the slide that is like, whoa, that is a minor lick. Like we've abandoned where we just were. Listen. Major, and all of a sudden, right? Come back in with that slide, right, to create that drone. So we're in this D minor swamp, and then right over top, they come in with the F sharp for the major with major harmonies, just pushing it through. I mean, it's literally like it's a dark, stormy day, and then the clouds part through. That, just remember, the major third always wins. All right, last one I'm going to show you is Midnight Rider with Vince Gill, Greg Allman, and Zach Brown. Now, the reason that I'm showing you this version is because, this is a jam band thing. And when you do this type of tune, you want to take a lead. For those that don't know, Vince Gill is a monster guitar player. And he has a phenomenal, not just chops and physical stuff like that, but a phenomenal ear for, especially for, if you've seen a lot of my videos, you've seen me preach this, for going back and forth between vocal sounding leads, right, where you're trying to hit the melody, and guitar sounding leads, where it sounds like, licks, like it sounds like guitar isms. If you do all melody stuff, it can kind of doesn't get that guitarness that we all love. And if you do all licks, you don't hear any of the melody, right? So finding that balance between is a true goal. Like, I really recommend you trying that. And Vince Gill nails it perfectly in this solo, especially because he comes in with the first part and it's major, right? He's nailing, he is doing the Greg Allman line, right? He's doing that. And then when the song turns into more minor, he naturally, very smoothly, it's almost hard to detect the moment where he switches, turns into this minor, D minor thing, abandons the melody, and does all this phenomenal D minor pentatonic-ish guitar work. And it's just a perfect example of what I try to get everybody to strive for when they're improvising, right? You can mix major and minor to get that bluesiness, and you can go back and forth between melodic bass stuff and guitar riffing lick bass stuff, and you can vary your tempos, your vibrato to make it sing or make it, again, sound more like guitar-ish. So hopefully that came through and you can hear that. But, I mean, Vince Gill is a full-grown monster. I mean, he's an unbelievable guitar player. So, if you could tell, he started out that lead doing the melody. And then, kind of the second time through, he switched over to just doing, I'm a guitar player thing now. And it's just, you should spend some time and try to do this. I'll kind of talk you through it a little bit and show you what he's doing. Not note for note, but like close enough so you get the idea. So by the way, this is the entrance of this jam part. So he's coming in it's just D, right? They're just straight over D. So again, this is D major, Right? It's the same as going right up to that F sharp. He's just bending to it. Just bending it up, and he's picking it a bunch of times. But he's hitting that F sharp. That's the point. Right? And then he's just making it sing. While he's keeping it up there, he bends a little more to get to the G, right? Right? Just playing with it. So now, same thing, higher registers. You're at this D, right? Right? That getting that F sharp. Now he starts to switch over here a little bit, right? He does this kind of unison bend from C to D. So he's starting to push with that flat 7 a little bit, just giving it a taste. Now, right? So he's starting to switch over to minor a little bit, right? He's coming in he's kind of in that Albert King zone. Here's your root, your D. So D, F, and G. So you have root, flat 7, right, and 4. You know, classic minor pentatonic bend, right? Now you hear like the Hendrixisms come out, you know, so doing that, you know, that. All that stuff. He is riffing right now. He's switched over. He's riffing in D minor. Doing all that all that D minor stuff. You know that all that nonsense. Yeah. Now he's kind of he kind of jumped up into like this minor or major blues just here. You know that bend here, he's bending on the A. So that's the 5th, right? But then he goes back down. Back into D minor. And then just kind of, you know, wanders back down. It's like, yeah, that's not note for note, and I didn't get it right exactly. But that's not the point. The point is that if you listen to this again, you have D major. It's melodic, right? It sounds like the voice. Even though, yes, he's bending and picking and all that, he's trying to get he's trying to establish that, right? And then, even though the back stays on D and doesn't really move around, he switches into D minor to grab that theme of the tune, which is the mix of major and minor, and also going from a vocal sound to a guitar sound. It's glorious. Listen to it again, and then we'll get the ending here. And I love how once he hits in, you see Zach Brown turn over, like look over at him, and he's like, damn, that's good. So he does this at the end of all his live minor ones, where he does that, you know. Right? And the band kind of mimics it too. He does it a couple times, and at the end, right, they do that B flat, kind of surge it up, and then it obviously resolves on the biggest, swampiest D minor of all. And that's the minor version of Midnight Rider. We're gonna miss you, Greg Allman. It's just you brought so much, and I thank you.